Sisters' Unconditional Love. Once upon a time, in a little town far, far away, there lived two orphans, Eleanor and her brother Toby. Eleanor worked very hard, sometimes as a water girl for merchants and traders, and sometimes as a stall person. But when drought hit their kingdom, all the traders and merchants left. The once busy roads now lay barren, just like its lands.
Eleanor, what are we gonna do now?
Eleanor thought for a while, looked at the pale face of her brother, and said,
"Pack your bags. We are leaving this town.
But where are we going?
Wherever luck takes us, brother."
And so they set out together to walk through the whole of the great wide world. It was a long journey they set out on, and they did not think of any end to it, but only of moving on, and never stopping long enough in one place to be unhappy there.
Thank you for the fruit, Mrs. Dorothy. God bless you.
This is the yummiest apple I have ever had. Where is yours?
I ate mine. Okay, let's go now.
Eleanor lied, for Mrs. Dorothy could spare only one apple, and the loving sister knew how hungry her brother was. They moved on. Now they were traveling one day over a broad plain, and all day from early morning they had been walking, and the heat grew greater and greater towards noon.
My throat is so dry. I want a little drink of cool water.
But water they could not find.
We will soon find some, brother. Let's just keep moving.
I don't think I can. My throat, I'm...
And at that moment, they saw an old woman sleeping under the shade of a tree, a bowl of water kept beside her. Seeing the sparkling water, Toby could not resist his temptation and at once darted towards it and, picking up the bowl, drank the water in long, big gulps.
Brother, you should have asked her before having the water. Where are your manners?
I'm sorry, Eleanor. I couldn't resist. Ma'am, I'm sorry I drank your water.
But the old woman did not wake up. Finding it best not to disturb her sleep, the siblings went on their way. And no sooner were they out of sight, the woman opened her eyes and turned into the witch that she was.
Silly, silly, so silly. Now wait and watch, boy.
Meanwhile, Toby began to cough frantically. His face turned red, and he looked at Eleanor to say something, but could only bleat,
No! Toby!
Eleanor watched in horror as Toby turned into a lamb.
I am tired of my spells not working 100% as I intend them to. I wanted to turn him into a billy goat, but instead I turned him into a little lamb. Well, that's okay. A lamb will sell for as much money. Yes, money! With that, I will buy myself the silver-coated gown from the merchant of the mountain, and I will be the prettiest witch in the whole world. Oh, no! How did this happen? Oh, my brother!
Presently, a fine gentleman, who was a prince, came riding by on his horse. He was very much surprised at seeing a beautiful little girl sitting there, crying her eyes out, while a white lamb frisked this way and that, and played before her.
Hey, what is your name? And may I help you?
My name is Eleanor, and this is my little brother Toby, whom I love more than anything in the world.
Eleanor told Princess Curious everything, and the young prince was astonished, although not really convinced. Nevertheless, he could see the pain in Eleanor's eyes. Those beautiful eyes, he thought.
My lady, I am sorry for everything, and it is not safe to be alone in this part of the country. Come with me to my palace, and you shall be treated like a royalty.
But my brother?
Oh, the lamb. Yes, he shall come too. Wherever you are, there he shall be, and you shall never be parted from him.
Eleanor thought for a while, and realized that it would indeed be better if she went with the prince, for there they would be safe. And so Eleanor took her little brother in her arms, and the prince lifted them on the big horse and galloped home with them.
no. Oh, silly, silly, so silly. Change of plans.
The palace was grand, and the services were magnificent. But Eleanor was not happy, for her worry was how to bring her brother back to his human self. The little lamb, however, was very, very happy. He jumped in the soft cushions and played with the maids all day. Meanwhile, the prince would meet Eleanor every day and spend time with her. He became very fond of her and eventually fell in love. And one day, he wore his finest clothes and sprayed the best of the perfumes in the land.
Eleanor, Eleanor, you are the most beautiful woman. Cliché. Eleanor, I think I am in love with you. Will you marry me? Yeah, this is good. Eleanor, how are you today?
How can I be when my brother is still a lamb? What did an innocent boy like him do to deserve such a thing? Oh, no.
The prince realized that it was no time to propose to Eleanor, and instead tried to console her. But Eleanor was done with consolations.
Thank you for everything that you have done. Oh, Prince, but nothing can console my heart till my brother turns back into himself.
I understand, Eleanor. I understand.
The next day, the prince set out with his men to go to the neighboring kingdom for matters of trade. The witch, who saw the prince leave, disguised herself as an old woman and went to the royal garden where Eleanor was with the lamb.
Oh, don't worry, Toby. Everything will be fine soon. I know what bothers you. Huh? Who are you? That is not important. What is important is that you need your brother back as a human, and only I have the solution. You? You can bring him back to his human self? No, you can. If you sacrifice yourself. Tell me anything. In order for your brother to become human again, you have to sacrifice yourself and become a lamb. Do you agree? What? It is your call, Eleanor. Take it or leave it. No, wait!
Eleanor looked at her little lamb, tears rolling out of her eyes. Then she said,
I agree. Here, have this bowl of water.
And at once, Eleanor understood who the woman was and what had turned her brother into a lamb.
The bowl of water! You are that woman from whose bowl my brother drank water! Smart you are, but not smart enough. Now, if you want to see your brother happy, do as I tell. And why should I trust you? For all I know, we will both be lambs for the rest of our lives. Well, all right. See you. No, wait. You are wasting my time. Turn him back into human, and I will drink the water, I promise. All right.
The witch removed an apple and, showing it to the lamb, threw it away. The lamb went after the apple, and as soon as it took a bite of it, with a bright glow, it changed back into Toby.
Now, quick, drink before he comes here looking for you.
Eleanor cried, for she wanted to talk to her brother, but she had made a promise, and she was going to fulfill it. As soon as she drank the water, she turned into a lamb, and the witch quickly turned herself into Eleanor.
Eleanor!
Toby, my brother!
The poor lamb watched her brother hug the fake Eleanor, but there was nothing it could do but bleat, and watch them go into the palace. The witch ordered the guards not to let the lamb inside, and poor Eleanor stayed outside in the cold all night. The next day, when the prince came, the witch ran towards him and told him that miraculously her brother turned back into himself.
Wow, that's good news.
Indeed. Also, my prince, I am in love with you.
The prince was delighted and told her that he felt the same about her. Toby, too, was happy, but felt that something was off with his sister, for she would never be so direct to a man. A grand wedding was announced. The palace was beautifully decorated. And on the day of the wedding, when the prince was walking in the garden, talking to one of his guests, the lamb came up to him, looked at him in the eyes.
Oh, hi there.
The prince stooped down to caress its head, when he noticed the rather familiar face crying.
You have beautiful green eyes, just like Eleanor. Why are you crying? My lord, apologies, but the queen-to-be has blue eyes. Don't be ridiculous.
And at that moment, a chill ran down the prince's spine.
You are Eleanor? And the one who is posed as you is an intruder?
Meanwhile, the witch, who had turned herself into Eleanor, tried the most gorgeous of dresses.
La 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 la. My, look at this golden dress. Oh, am I the most beautiful or what?
Intruder! Who are you?
My love, what is it?
Don't you dare! You are not Eleanor! Show your true self, or else... Ah!
No! Stop!
A witch?
I just want to have the best of the designer clothes in this world, and they cost a lot of money. Please,
You turn back my Eleanor into a human now! Else, this is your end!
All the guards pointed their swords and arrows at the witch, who knew she had no other option.
Fine.
Eleanor!
Toby!
And so, the brother and sister were finally reunited as their true selves. It was Eleanor's unconditional love for her brother that made her sacrifice her own life for him. The witch was banished from the princedom and was never seen again. And as for Eleanor and the prince, well, you know, they got married and lived happily ever after.